for any player, especially a quarterback. And he's not the biggest guy, but you just don't see him taking too many hits when he runs.
That was Mike Vrabel down at Patriots joint practices today, Gillette Stadium, with the Commanders, talking about Washington quarterback Jayden Daniels. WEEI afternoons here at Fenway Park in our Ford Clubhouse Fenway studio, brought to you by your New England Ford dealers and the Ford Summer Sales Event. Hurry in to get great deals now, including on F-Series, official truck of the Red Sox. So you hear Mike Vrabel talking about Jayden Daniels. We've talked a lot about Drake Maye, and we feel like he's progressing. We feel like there's good signs. There was all of that talk. Well, I guess we need to go back to the spring. There was that hellacious 4 interceptions in 8 passes or whatever the hell that was.
First OTA practice.
But Pete Traeger told me to just dismiss that, forget about that. Okay,
yeah,
so
right.
Pete, I forgot about it. We've moved on. Then there was the whole stretch of no interceptions in camp.
Correct. Until Friday night.
Then he gets under the bright lights, so to speak, in a scrimmage environment where he was the number 1 overall pick. Number 1 overall draft pick for that, as he should be.
They took Drake first overall?
Can you imagine if they had done a draft and you didn't take Drake number 1 overall?
Bad look.
That would be a bad look for the football team. But he had a couple turnovers in that. 1 tipped ball interception, another interception. Didn't win, for whatever that's worth, with Stretch, John
The
Stretcher.
Pastronaut won.
Yes, he won. Now, it was a
today.
modified Stableford scoring system where you could actually score points for, like, pass rushing and doing various things. But he lost. Today, we're talking about good practice until
2 minutes.
2 minutes. And then what happened?
Then the ball got tipped to the line of scrimmage and intercepted.
Okay, I don't want to be Mr. Negative. It just comes naturally. Is there a thing here? Because we talk about end of games. He's great. He does this. He gets you to overtime, and then he throws a pick in overtime. He gets you, clean through 10 days of practice, gets to this big scrimmage, throws a pick, or gets against Jayden Daniels, and now it's in the gotta-have-it period of practice, throws a pick. Like, when does he shake this? When does he shake it, and how does he shake it?
It's soon, because it's the most important situation in football. It's more
Yes.
important than third down. It's more important than red zone. To me, 2 minute is, people ask me, how did you know Tom Brady was Tom Brady? I was like, when I saw him run the 2 minute, he was so much better than Drew. That's boom, 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 making decisions, getting up. And so when you can score that fast, when you want to go in that hurry up, it's such a weapon for you. And so I think it's still too soon to just think, okay, that situation in football he's terrible at. I see where you're going with that. I need to see more with Josh in this new offense. And to me, that is the situation I hope he's brilliant at it, because, that's what Tom was. And that's what this team needs, is a very good high end game manager when it's on the line.
But how much progress do we need to see from Drake Maye vis-a-vis not turning the ball over in the 2 minute drill, not turning the ball over at the end of the game, to then ultimately chalk up last year's turnovers to, well, he has a bad coach and bad offensive line, and he was a rookie, so it was part of the learning curve, versus like, hey, this might actually be a thing.
Oh, yeah, no, and that's my point. Is I think there were 2 things on the field today down in Foxborough. Last year, the thing was Jayden Daniels at the end of the game wins the game, finds a way to win the game. It might be crazy.
Helps having a Terry McLaurin.
Whatever, but he finds a way to win the game.
Just so people know, Jayden Daniels did not hit his receiver in the end zone during the 2 minute, though.
He did not. That is fair.
So there you go.
But he's done it with the bright lights on of an NFL season.
Yes, he has.
And so, he's not perfect. Jayden Daniels won't be perfect. I think he's going to have a regression. But he already proved, at least for one season, he has it, or special, or do that, make the play, game on the line. You might be, having a bad day, but it's the fourth quarter and we're down 4 and we're driving. I find a way to finish that drive in the end zone, win the game, and then we all laugh about it later that I threw a pick in the first quarter, right? But if you don't do that, then the pick in the first quarter is magnified because that's all you did that day. And I feel like talent-wise, overall talent-wise, maybe even stat-wise, like you look back, Jayden Daniels played 17 games, threw for 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Like, those are good numbers.
Yep.
Ran a lot.
He ran a lot. So did Drake Maye. Sometimes you got to run.
900 yards, though.
I know.
Significant amount.
I think if Drake Maye had played 17 games, he would have probably rushed for in the games he played for. I believe Drake Maye led the NFL in rushing at the quarterback.
He averaged just under 50 yards a game.
Yeah. So, but my point is, I think talent-wise, Drake Maye feels closer to Jayden Daniels than clutch-wise or whatever, gotta-have-it-wise, however you want to term it, Ted. Like, that's the final piece of that, like, next step
Man, that's
puzzle.
tough. I hear you. I part of me puts that a little bit on the coaching, the offensive line, and the wide receivers he had last year.
Mm-hmm.
It just does.
What about this year?
Yeah, this year I'll hold a higher standard to him when it comes to that. I will not excuse it away. I won't tolerate it. So he's got to show me something in that situation this year. I think he's got better coaching. I think he's got a better offensive line. I think he's got better wide receivers. So I expect him to be significantly better when it comes to operating the offense in the 2 minute. Now, he did get back into the Tennessee game. I mean, he went down on his and in the overtime he pooped the bed, but he did kind of win that 2 minute situation that he needed to just to get the game into overtime. That's one example. Even though it turned out to be a loss, that was nice execution, at least in that 2 minute in regulation.
And that was a huge game, because I still say if that had been a game winner on that play, instead of gave him a shot to now throw a pick in overtime, you know what I mean? That whole narrative story feel of that changes if that's the game winner.
You called that last year the Drake Maye audition tape on the Six Rings post-game show.
Yep.
Which I don't disagree with at all.
Auditioning
But
for what?
Well, it was a
excuse me,
tape.
the Drake Maye recruitment tape. Excuse me, I misspoke.
To send out to offensive players and be like, you want to play with this guy because this is
going to be
the kind
fun
of stuff he can do, but he needs you to help him, kind of thing.
But of all the different game-ending turnovers last year that he made, which is the one that was the most egregious to you, or which is the one that is still stuck in your craw? Like, man, that's the one I'm worried about.
Well, the sideline throwaway that wasn't a throwaway, that was an interception that I think should have been the Tuba player. That's as bad as it gets.
That's as bad as it gets.
To me, the one that still worries me a little bit was the miscommunication with Pop Douglas when Pop would have been open down the seam, and he and that ended the game against the Rams, a game that was very winnable, so despite the fact that they made a lot of dumb plays.
And that's where my point is, like,
Rams were surgical in that game. But go ahead.
Yes, but my point is they kind of piled up those plays of like, oh, they don't make the play at the end last year, while Jayden Daniels piled up because there's some number with Jayden Daniels. He had like 5 touchdowns inside of whatever kind of thing, and that's how you end up with a 12-win record as a rookie quarterback. You flip those games like the Red Sox, those one-run games. You flip those games early in the year, they were a really good baseball team. You can't flip those games. You lost those games.
You're right, though. There's a thing with Drake Maye.
And
when it comes to turning the ball over at the end of games, you're right. He needs to prove that he's gotten better at that.
Also, and I haven't done enough research. I don't remember his career well enough at North Carolina, but listening to him talk the other day, he was talking about how a couple seasons there, they were off to a good start, 4-1, 5-1. They were ranked like 11th in the country, and they would have that big game that was going to actually, boom, lift them. Now we're going to be top 5. We're going to be this.
They'll never do it.
And they lost it.
Yep.
And I liked that he sort of told the story matter-of-factly, and he actually said something to the effect of, was kind of the story of my career at North Carolina, which I give him credit for the honesty, but now I'm like, does he not have that clutch Dan Ball? Dan Ball, we always talk about clutch ability. Does he not
Can't quantify it.
Yeah, you can't quantify it, except
you
can kind of quantify it with
when you see it.
I can kind of quantify it with touchdowns for Jayden Daniels late in games, turnovers for Drake Maye late in games. Those feel like quantifiable measures. And again, I liked 90% of what I saw down there today. I thought he measured up to Jayden Daniels. I think Jayden Daniels is better. I was listening to some of the Washington reporters talk about how they feel like he's bigger and stronger, and he put on some muscle and all these things.
Not going to play Friday either, which is a bummer.
I wouldn't play him either. I would not.
You thought it was far and away, clear, easy.
He was the best quarterback on the field.
He was the best.
Yeah, he made some throws even on incompletions. And you know what? Some of it might have been, Ted, honestly, our vantage point sitting on the hill when he was throwing out, kind of viewing the field from his vantage point, and some of the spots he was throwing into and the throws he made. I was thoroughly impressed with him. I think they have something special in Washington. And the question is, do we have something special here? I guess that's the way to boil this all down. Is there something special here in New England? And I don't know when we're going to get that answer. Because if we keep bitching about Will Campbell and we keep bitching about Morgan Moses, doesn't that push the answer off? Because we keep giving excuses, right? We keep giving excuses to Drake Maye and the offense.
Well, you don't have to bitch about Morgan Moses. You can just sort of let that come around. And as far as Will Campbell goes, the guy needs at least a month of football before we can start the whole like, oh, good, now we're going to have to kick this guy into guard, and now we got a bunch of left guards and no tackle yet. I'm going to give him that first month, as difficult as that first month is going to be, and as difficult especially as his first game is going to be as well.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving. I want to make that clear because I've seen some of that on that I've given up on Will Campbell. Absolutely have not given up on Will Campbell.
There's a whole meeting. They get together. They have coffee and donuts every
Will
week.
Campbell was the guy I wanted all along to play left tackle.
That is true.
And I also, guess what? Don't care if he loses one-on-ones. If he's good in games and bad in one-on-ones on the far end of the field with guys with binoculars telling, he went 3-7-2 in one-on-ones, don't care. Don't care. Get on the field, and whatever the entire blocking scheme is, if you do that on Gillette Stadium on Sundays and take care of Drake Maye and open holes for Ramondre Stevenson, then I don't care what you do in one-on-ones, right? That's irrelevant. Like, that's minutia for the media to put in their little blogs and notes. I've not given up on him. The line in general, when you tell me Drake Maye, your line sucked your rookie year, and in your second year, you know what they're going to do for you? They're going to start 3 rookies in front of you. If you're Drake Maye, do you love just the sound of that, the idea of that theoretically?
Nope, that does not give me comfort one bit.
How about handing the ball off to a rookie and then throwing to a rookie as well?
Oh, there's some of that.
With Kyle Williams and Trey. There could very well be a formation early in the season where 5 of the 11 people on offense are rookies.
Good. And that could either be really good or
Like
really
that?
bad.
Well, you know what I like? If they're good, like if Jared Wilson turns out to be a steal, and if Will Campbell's what we think he is, and Kyle Williams, people think that he is a steal, then they're all going to grow up together.
Right, like Fenway Park.
It's right. Then you got all these young guys trying to build something that all of a sudden create a core, which this team hasn't had a real strong core in forever.
And that's where there is absolutely, you're right, Ted, an opportunity for the story of a lot of rookies playing to be good or bad. Either it's not going well, they look like rookies are making, or, oh my God, we got a young core here that's learning and growing, and they're actually playing pretty well right now, but imagine how well they're going to play in a half a season, and it's what we're doing at Fenway. We talk about Roman Anthony is here, Rafaela is here, Abreu is here. When he's healthy, Marcelo Meyer is here. You're seeing a core that's winning. And that's awesome because now I can project 5 years from now the same core.
What makes me a little bit nervous, I haven't heard Kyle Williams. I didn't see him at all today.
Quiet.
He had one pass broken up in our corner at the end.
To me, he's got ability. And, I hope that, look, I mean, he's making the team. I hope that he's active and good enough to be out there, on game days. That's what I hope.
He has not flashed enough for me. And I continue to get worn down. I think it's stupid to say if the Patriots draft a receiver, he's not going to be good because they're the Patriots, and when they draft receivers, they're not good. It's stupid, right?
New sheriff in town.
That should make no sense, except you're worn down by the evidence of the years for a while, and there's a bunch of people that have come through here at wide receiver that weren't very good, and that annoys me.
Very happy to report, by the way, as fans are now teaming and streaming into friendly Fenway Park in advance of tonight's game from our Ford Clubhouse Fenway studio. Way more Sox jerseys than Royals jerseys.
That's right. There's an uptick. They're catching on. It's a pretty good baseball team right here at Fenway Park, the Red Sox. WEEI Afternoons here at Fenway Park. Up next, the Patriots put out a depth chart, and it is unofficial. I need to say that. It's unofficial. It is put out by the PR staff, but it generally makes its way to the desk of the football staff as well. They kind of sign off on it. I've been involved with this process in the past. The Patriots' unofficial depth chart and some of the notable names on it and where they are. That's up next here on WEEI Afternoons.
WEEI.
WEEI. New